Does anyone hear me out there? Hi, Wayne. Hopefully you hear me. Um, the last I talked to my connections, the chain and files are expected in March on the Hexas. So I'm looking forward to getting my filing is completely wore out. So I'm hoping to get it as soon as they get some to the States. Distributor out of Ohio was hopefully going to be getting them 1st of March. They're already distributing a little bit in Europe, so I'm thinking that's a good sign. So we'll see if they show up on time in the States. Got everything set up. The bit rate and all here on the internet connection is super, super low tonight. So I don't know. Thought I'd see if it would pick up some, but I don't know. Wayne, I haven't seen anything on the UK sites. It's been on the German and I think the Finnish sites have them. Best I can tell, Sweden doesn't have them yet either. So uh, only Germany, the way it looks right now, that I've seen anything back on it. And I think all Germany has right now is the RS 63 gauge and the full, that's a 33 or 36 RS, and be with the 732nd hexa file. Hi, Jeff Tupper. Hope you're doing well. Nova Scotia, Canada. I'm glad you're liking the videos. Wayne, just as soon as I hear anything on those, I'll put it up on the community line and see what distributors got them. But I think they all have it on order, so we'll see how they show up. A lot of people are interested in it, so I don't know what the volume will be on the first rounds, but we'll see. Bit rate's picking up just a little bit. I imagine the latency is really bad out there, so I don't know how delayed everything is. I'm gonna flip over to this camera and see what the what happens on the bit rate. sound should be pretty good. Everything looks good there. So if I ever get this thing going, I'm trying to come up with some way to get some internet out here where we are. But even the satellite systems they have download but don't have anything on upload, so it's not much better. So I've got, if they get this 5G going in the area for the MiFi, it would probably work pretty good. Wayne, where are you located? What state are you in? Wisconsin. All right, so you're going to be the mid-area distributor. Okay. Yeah, that area up to there, I know Brian Equipment's area, he was expecting them in. That was my contact. So, but I imagine Hayward and that area up through there will be getting them pretty about the same time. Jeff, I as far as the number one cause of chainsaw accidents, as far as cuts, lacerations, I find that most likely it's top of the list is dull saw chain, and so that's about the biggest thing. And when I talk with people where the incidents have take place and everything, it's a lot of cuts from dull saw chain. But really, the majority of the situations happen because of the material that's being cut. It's either under pressures, moves, flips, rolls, goes the wrong direction. So most of the chainsaw accidents are actually struck by incidents. So spring poles, loaded limbs and tops, rollovers, lost control on the trees, or larger limbs that are being taken on horizontal trees. All of that, it's really the biggest thing is the struck by situations. But there are a lot more cuts, but they're not all that serious as far as the majority of the injuries go. So it's the bad ones are the struck bys. Hi Aaron, hope you're doing well. Enjoyed the video on the premix fuels. Do you have any preference with bar oil? I've been just picking up different oils. I've been using the bar oil from Tractor Supply, which has been working pretty good over the past few years. I buy it when they go on sale, but I've had really good luck with it. As far as biodegradable, I've been using B3C. It's I don't have the name of it in here, but their oil. It's biodegradable, and but that's really it. Most what I've been using on regular bar oil, I've just been picking up from Tractor Supply when I'm on the road. And it does pretty well cold temperatures and warm. I've found out, so it works out pretty well. But definitely the major brands, the Husqvarna and the Steel is excellent lubrication on the bar and chain. I just received sample. I haven't used it yet, but I might this week. I'm heading out tomorrow. I've got a program in Gwinnett County up near Lawrenceville, Georgia for 3 days. And I've got some of the aspen oil, which is biodegradable. I've got some of that. I'm going to try and see how that does. It's pretty chilly down here right now. It's 19 this morning, and I think it's going to be pretty cold probably Tuesday. So I'll get a chance to try some of that. But I was looking at it today, and it's doing pretty good in the cold weather so far. It's, I think, a rapeseed oil and water soluble. Hi Jeff, the auto tune on the M-Tronics and also on the Husqvarna. I mean, I've got a 562 XP on the Husqvarna, and I've got a 362 Steel, and I have been very pleased. This is my, I don't know, I think I've had 3 of the Husqvarnas, and I've had 2 of the M-Tronics on the Steels, and I've been really pleased with the M-Tronics. The only time I've had any trouble whatsoever is up in high elevation in Colorado year before last with it. But I think I discovered what that was, and you've got to let them go through the adjustment process. So if you don't, especially at high elevations, it starts seems like leaning itself for some reason. But yeah, and the other thing too is that if you load it up, seems like that's the only time I've ever had any issues. When it loads up, let's say it was idling and you had to brake on, because in classes I have people do that quite often. And if it loads up, then the carburetor kind of like, we don't need any more, and it shuts down, so it makes it hard to start sometimes on that. But I mean, I can count on probably one hand the times I've had trouble. So it's I really like the auto tunes. 592 XPs are supposed to have the Auto Tune 3. Yeah, I had one video already where David Breeden was talking about that, and he explained the differences. It's on one of my videos on YouTube, and explains the differences. It supposedly is really fast on checking, all the conditions that those systems read, and so it's really, really fast on adjusting itself. So that's going to be a big difference. I think that it's very similar to the M-Tronic system on the Steels, because it more or less doesn't have a choke. On the M-Tronics on the Steels, you go down to delta position, which is in the choke position on the lever, but it really doesn't choke, and I think that's what the Auto Tune 3 is going to. So it's going to make things a little bit better. So you can go up to the start position, and in the upper choke position, and it'll continue to idle and adjust itself at that. But one thing real weird on the auto tunes, it seems kind of funny that 2 or 3 different models, they all have a little bit different adjustment process, and so I'm trying to get that all figured out, what works best, because I run across a lot of those out in the field with the state and the city and county training, and they didn't really know what they had. They just know there's no adjustments on the side, but they usually don't run through the adjustment process. So some of them are, well, like on the the 362, it idles there for 90 seconds and then shut it off. I think the 261C has got another process. Another one has like 30 seconds at idle, then 30 seconds wide open. So you got to kind of read your owner's manual to figure out exactly, or check with a dealer to see how exactly it's supposed to be run to go through the adjustment process. But I really don't, like if I change elevations, like last week I was near Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and then went from there down to Macomb, Mississippi. It's a little bit different elevation, closer to towards the coast, and so it took a little bit to adjust out. But most of the time when I'm in one area, it just does it. I mean, I don't have to worry about it. I do it one morning, and then for 3 days it does great. So no problems till I change location or temperatures or whatever. So Aaron, you're looking at getting a 592 XP. I think a lot of people are. I don't know whether I don't know if they're going to be on time with any quantity or not. I haven't talked to David in the past few weeks, but they were expecting them the end of the first quarter, I think, in the Atlanta area. Thinking about it, that's going to be a powerful saw. I know David is very impressed with his, and he's left it around some different places south of Atlanta, because I was hoping to get to run it a little bit, and he can't seem to get it back in. Everybody wants to run it. He's been dropping it off with different tree services and stuff. So. Yeah, Jeff, the 550 Mark II Husqvarna that's an awesome unit. I know every one of them I've run just runs like crazy. Lightweight, a lot of power. That's kind of Cotton Top's go-to saw most of the time. Well, you found a 592 in stock somewhere? Mm-hmm. Try something here, see if you guys can hear this. See if you can hear this. Yeah, Cotton Top, Screaming Demon. He loves that thing. I think he's got two of them now. He's got two 550s, I believe. Could you hear the saw running there? I got my podcast system set up, so oh, cool. That's how it works pretty decent. I can't hear it because of feedback unless I put earphones on. Yep, chainsaw, and then I just did a applause thing too, so hopefully it came through. got all my podcast stuff set up. Hopefully, y'all have checked out the podcast. I got them on. A lot of it is just the audio from the different videos that I do, but I've got some extra ones, some different things that I put together, and those are on Apple Podcast and Google Podcast, Anchor, and I think it's on 6 total. I think the other 3 are some smaller systems, but it's pretty cool. You can just, with the podcast, you can crank them up on your phone and listen to them while you work. So it works out pretty good. A lot of people are liking that. Matter of fact, I've got a lot more on that than the YouTubes. So he's just got one 550. I think I was talking to him. He had bought another one. He might have already sold it, but yeah, he had 2 550s because he had the old one and he was having some trouble with it after running some blended gas he had, and tore it down. Couldn't find anything wrong. I think he went and got another one kind of for a backup, but I don't know. I think he got the old Screaming Demon going again. So I don't know whether he did that or not. You saying put a 16-inch bar on the 592, or you're talking about the 550? Oh, okay, 550 XP. Putting together another video on saw chain, rakers, depth gauges. I had a lot of questions past couple weeks. I've been doing a lot down in Mississippi with some sharpening stuff with the guys, and a lot of people have never seen the Husqvarna raker plate, and so I'm putting together a video on that. If you guys are you guys aware of what I'm talking about? It came off of the design of the Carlton follow plate, and for setting the depth gauges, and it's been around. Husqvarna's had them for years. Soren used to bring them by the handfuls, and so a lot of distributors, after we started using them, started putting them in, and I've got some info off of the website for them also in the video. But it's, to me, the best way, if you're using a two-step system, it's the best way to really set the depth gauges, because it takes each tooth independently, and it really works good. A lot of people never seen them. Oh, really? West Coast saw? I have to look that up. Hi, Wayne. As far as on the 325 narrow curve chain versus a standard 325 chain, the um, the narrow curve so far a lot of the guys I've talked to they like it. Um, it's smaller tooth, and you've got the 0.043 drive link on the gauge. The only thing I've really run into trouble on is on the newer pole saws. Guys are mismatching. They're getting a new chain and they're putting it on their old saws, and it's 50 gauge 3/8 extended pitch, and it's caused a little bit of havoc with some of the cities and towns. But I don't really run much with the 325, but it's definitely a fast cutting chain. I've just in the couple saws I carry with me all the time, I use 3/8 full profile. But over the years, the standard 325 full profile is hard to beat. But I know the narrow curve 325 in the semi chisel. I know like Husqvarna's got coming out on saws. That's some very smooth, fast cutting stuff. But and I haven't really seen any issues other than people mismatching them on the units. Yeah, Jeff, raker gauges are a must. There's no doubt. It's very hard to just take two swipes on each one or whatever with just a flat file and be real accurate with it. That the raker gauge takes and really sets the height of the point past the raker, and it's no better way to do it. I run across guys just about every week with the cities and towns that they don't ever know that you have to adjust the depth gauge. The teeth would be halfway back, and I was talking earlier about some injuries with dull saw chain. Well, same thing. I mean, they'll file the tooth, but then it gets halfway back or back 30%, 70% back, and they don't know to adjust the depth gauges. It really makes it the same as a dull chain. You got to push on it like crazy. So they have to be adjusted, and it works so much better with the raker tools. Yeah, that's Oregon speed cut bar, Jeff, and chain. Yeah, that excellent combination on that 550. The speed cut is, um, I think that's the tooth design. It comes both ways. They've got the narrow curve also. We're using the standard 50 gauge or 63 gauge. Probably 50 gauge, I guess, on the 550 out there. I guess the narrow curve, the 0.043 is a little bit lighter chain. I don't know really if the weight is an advantage or not, but it does with the thinner width on the teeth. It does cut a thinner curve, and I guess a lot of the pruners and arborists like it when you can keep a narrower curve. Well, like I said, it's with the addition of something not really new. Gosh, it's been out, I guess, probably 5 or 6 years now, but I'm still hearing issues with mismatching pitches and gauges. Somebody will get the new, especially on the pole saws, they'll get the pole saw, the 3/8 extended pitch, 50 gauge bar, and they go back to dealer or supply, and somebody says, you tried the new chain yet? And so, no, I haven't. So they end up, they get the new chain and it doesn't match their pitcher gauge, so they don't know how and they try to crank it up and it's chattering like crazy, or it won't go down in the bar, or actually it goes down in the bar. Try to cut with it, it locks up halfway through a limb or something. Yeah, that's the way to go, I think, with the 50 gauge, with the narrow curve. Gives you a little bit more strength there. Sounds good, Wayne. Yeah, the 1/4 inch pitch, I saw that here over the past few months, coming back in with the 043, but that also all the way up with the 325 pitch. So the 043 drive links are getting out there in the marketplace. Yeah, 1/4 inch pitch. I mean, I used to carve with it all the time years ago, and it kind of got kicked out of the way because of kickback on the ANSI on reactive forces, and so it was basically taken out of the line everywhere. But now, coming back in with the small saws, especially with the battery powered. There's not a whole lot of units out there, of the old ones, with 1/4 inch pitch anymore, so it's, as long as people don't figure out a way to get that on the sprocket, which is pretty hard to do. That one doesn't match up very well at all between 3/8 and 1/4, so shouldn't see too much issue out there with that. But it's so smooth, when you got the 1/4 inch pitch. Oh, Jeff, the mittens that I use are actually Grand Forest out of Somerville, South Carolina, um, is the manufacturer, or have them manufactured. They bring them over. It's I've been using those for years. Soren started producing those back in the 80s, and we changed the design just a little bit, and that's a very, very comfortable glove. It has goat skin palms, which when it gets wet and stuff, it dries very subtle, and they last so long. Back of the left hand has the protection in it, and then the right hand has the trigger finger. Did produce some with two trigger fingers for a while, but went back just to the right, just for a cost factor. But Grange Forest out of Summerville, South Carolina, they also they distributed them to Steel, and Steel has them or had them in their lineup. I believe that they have discontinued them. They just don't sell that many of them. But I've been using them for years, and I just love them. They come off your hand really easy. When you start to get hung up something. And warm weather, it's a little bit nicer to have your fingers together, and you can also add a liner into them very easily in real cold weather. And then when it's hot, all the chips and stuff, you got air room around it, and all the chips and stuff come out of it real easy. I really like them, and I think they're still running somewhere $26 to $29 a pair, something like that. But I might go through one pair a year. I mean, they last that long, and I have one set down in the garage I use with all work. I do all my maintenance with them and everything pretty much with them on. It's amazing how much dexterity you have in your fingers with those mittens like that. But you might check with the Steel dealers. They may have them still in stock, but if not, if you look online at Grange Forest, they have them. I bought some last year from them. They still have them in the lineup. They have, I think, 3 different sizes, though, and they are kind of sized large. So my hands are kind of medium, I guess. So I do get the mediums, but there's about three different sizes of them, I think. Yeah, I've got here, and I've got a shop here. I buy the steels that I've got from a rental center here in Rome, Georgia. And then the Husqvarnas, I've been working with a dealer in Florida for years, and so I buy them through them now. But all the saws I've bought local here at the dealer, and I have a Husqvarna dealer south of town that I get most of my parts from there. As far as all the repairs, I do most all that myself. Well, gentlemen, I think I'm going to close it down. I've had this thing going for quite a while, so I'm going to kind of shut it down and do a little more tweaking on some things, and I'm going to try to do another live this week. So I appreciate y'all dropping by. Thanks a lot, and appreciate your support there. So we will talk to you again later. If you have any other questions or anything, you can send them over the YouTube comments or info@forestapps.com. Be glad to get back to you. So y'all have a great one. We're going to sign off, and y'all have a great week. Bye. Good sawing.